Hello my friends, it's your old buddy DC Cooks with another easy post-barbecue dinner. Now if you're like me and you cooked a bunch of brisket earlier this week, you got to find something to do with it. And let me tell you what, leftover brisket enchiladas are where it's at. That is for sure. So all we're doing here is we're taking half of a large white onion and giving it a pretty rough chop. We're not trying to dice it too small, make all the pieces the same size. We're just chopping it up a little bit, getting it into a pan that's on medium-high heat with some olive oil. And we're just going to saute those onions until they start to get soft, maybe 5 minutes or so. What I did is I let these things saute while I was chopping up my leftover brisket. Now, I cooked an 18.5-pound brisket earlier this week, and man, as a family, we tore it up, that's for sure, but we did have some leftovers. So I'm just taking some slices that I had left over of the point of that brisket, and we're just going to chop those just as rough as we did those onions earlier. Not trying to do anything too fancy here. While I was cutting these, I was thinking, I know I'm going to roll these up in a tortilla, and I also know they're going to get soft when they get warm, so there's no reason to go too crazy here. We're just trying to chop these up kind of roughly. We're looking at about a pound, maybe a pound and a half of chopped brisket. Oh man, I may have snuck a couple pieces while I was chopping this up. It's as good as the day it came off the smoker. A little cold though. We're just going to add that in to this skillet with these onions. You can see how those onions have cooked down a little bit, started to get translucent. Man, that's perfect. You don't have to go too crazy. We're just going to add all this brisket in here and let it start heating up. Remember, this brisket's 100% cooked, so we're not trying to cook anything. We're just trying to heat it up, warm everything back up, let these flavors meld with those onions. Oh man, it's going to taste good. To our brisket and onion mix, we're going to add an entire can of red enchilada sauce, mild version. My family is not down with too much spice. Use whatever kind of enchilada sauce you like. If you like the spicy kind, if you like the green kind, man, use whatever kind you want. It's up to you, not a problem. We're just going to let this enchilada sauce sit on this brisket, and we're going to add about a quarter of a cup, maybe a little bit more, of my favorite barbecue sauce. It happens to be a blend that I make using some store-bought barbecue sauce and adding a couple things to it. About a quarter cup, just to add a little bit more of that barbecue flavor is what we're looking for here. We're just going to mix this all together and let it sit on this heat and let it come up to temperature. Now once we've got that brisket mix heated up to the right temperature or just warmed, we're going to start laying it into these flour tortillas. Now these are 8-inch flour tortillas. Man, you can use whatever tortillas you want to. You don't have to warm them. You can just take them right out of the package. And now I'm just rolling these up. The heat from that brisket mixture is going to soften those up nice. And I'm just laying them in a large aluminum pan that I've sprayed with a quick hit of cooking spray. You can oil it or grease it however you want to. Butter would work, make it taste good. So that's all we're doing. We're just simple putting a little bit of that brisket mixture on those tortillas and rolling them up. I'm going to kick up the speed here and we're going to knock out the rest of these quick, fast, in a hurry. After we've got all our briskets or our enchiladas made, we're just going to top it with some cheese. Now, I don't know about you, but I always end up having all these random bags of cheese in my refrigerator. This is like a taco blend. I think it's mozzarella, maybe it's a pepper jack, and some cheddar. And we're just laying that, whatever we've got left in that bag, in on top of these enchiladas. We've got the oven preheating to 350 degrees. Doesn't have to be any warmer than that. So after we put in that first kind of cheese, I found some cheddar cheese in the refrigerator as well, so I threw a little bit of that on there. And I've also got a bag of Mexican cheese that you can see over there on the left hand side of your screen. Just whatever cheese you want. I mean, it is sort of a Mexican Hispanic kind of dish, so we're looking at Mexican type cheeses would be good, like those taco blends. Taco cheese is what I call it. After we get enough cheese on there, we're just going to put a little bit more of that barbecue sauce on top of it. Man, it's going to make it taste good. that's for sure. Oh man, I love these. As I was making them, I'm thinking I can't wait until they come out of the oven. After we get the barbecue sauce in there, in the oven for 20 minutes at 350. And this is what they look like when they come out. Oh man, it smells like heaven in my kitchen right now. I can't wait to tear these up. Now, one thing to remember when you spray these with cooking spray, make sure you get a little bit up there on the edges. You'll notice that I had a little bit of that tortilla stick to the edge of that aluminum pan. Not a big deal. We just kind of scraped it out with the spatula there. It smelled so good that the dog was even coming into the kitchen trying to find herself a bite. That's for sure. She was like, man, did you drop any brisket around here? Anyway, once we got them on the plate, wow, simple. We're just gonna garnish them with a little bit of sour cream. You can put whatever you want on top of yours. Maybe some taco sauce. I also had some spicy barbecue sauce. Essentially, it's the same recipe that I was using earlier. I just added some hot peppers to it to give it a little bit of kick. We're just gonna add a couple dollops of sour cream to the top of these. And then I chopped up some fresh cilantro. Man, let me tell you what, these were so good. I could hardly stand it. And I made so many, I got some left over for lunch tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching. Man, I sure do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you loved it, hit the like button. Thank you all so much for your support. And man, we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.